What's up everybody, Jerry here, and this is another tutorial. This one is going to be a quick one, guys, because of this is only the beginning of the tutorial. It's not necessarily like the actual tutorial. It's going to be part one because I'm going to deal with just the dimension, and this what I'm going to show you in this tutorial, guys, doesn't only apply in the mobile phone. It applies to everything that you create in Blender. The best way is to go with the proper dimensions. I want to show you what I mean. So let's get started with the tutorial. First thing, guys, you can see that this is the when you open Blender, this is what you see, because I'm using it with this version. Of course, I haven't done anything, so I want you to see everything from start, because of if you find me that already the Blender is already open and then I've done some things, you may think that I've tweaked some stuff. So I want it to be straight from zero. So now when I click on the side, you can see that everything disappears, only the cube. So this is the default cube. It's selected, but nothing is done to it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm quickly going to see if I can turn on the screencast key so that you guys can see what's happening. Something should appear right over here, which is the screencast key. It's right here. So I think this is the perfect position, because I might just adjust the screen a little bit to work on both on different windows. So I'm going to create another window right over here on this side. So I don't want that to disappear all the way. So let me just bring it back a little so that you can see the screencast key. So it's right over here. Again, let's just move it slightly this way. Or yeah, let's just move it slightly this way, because I'm gonna do this. Let's see, I'm gonna do this, and then I'm gonna move it a little bit more so that it can be slightly on the corner there. So perfect. So this side I'm gonna change it, guys, to image editor, because this is what I want to show you something on. First of all, guys, when you model anything, you need to get the right dimensions for whatever you are doing. So let me give you an example. Now let's say you were to model this phone, the mobile phone. I'm on the Huawei website, so you can see that Huawei says that the P40 Pro, Huawei P40 Pro, the dimensions, the width is 72.6 millimeters, and then the height is 158.20 millimeters, and then the depth, which is, yeah, you can see from the front of the phone to the back of the phone, it's 8.95 millimeters. So it's roughly 9 millimeters. So let's just say 9 millimeters or whatever. Yes, we can put it exactly the same way. But now when we come to Blender, guys, one thing that I want you to notice is as I stretch this again, I don't know why I did that, why I move it outside. So I actually have to bring it back. Let's just offset the mouse again for the screencast key so you can see. I'm going to come to view, and then you can see now on, actually not on the view, on the tools. Let's see on the tools. I actually forget where the dimensions of something is. Item, yeah, dimensions are here on the item. You can see that it says 2 millimeter. So this is way too big. Let me just zoom in. This box, it's 2 millimeter height, 2 millimeter width, 2 millimeter depth. So if I hit 1, I'm in the front view. So I'm just gonna hide the camera right now, and then now you are in the front of the screen, front orthographic. So what you see here is 2 millimeter. You see this block is a meter, 2 meters, sorry, 2 meter. This is a meter, and this is another meter. So it's 2 meters wide. But now Huawei says their phone is not 2 meters wide. Let me tell you why. What I used to do first when I was about to model the phone. I would just Shift A, image, reference. I'm just going to show you something quickly. Reference, and then I'm going to go to the F reference image, which for me it's going to be this one over here for the Huawei phone, and quickly it's going to open somewhere here. Now when I have the reference set up like that, I would just select the box. Select the box. You see, the box is selected, and Z wireframe so that we can see through the box. So now this is the box, you see. Now I would just start saying scale X, Y axis, X axis, like, and then G, X, just to align it with whatever I want to model, and then scale X. And I think most people, if you can relate it, say it in the comments down below. Guys, again, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. It helps a lot. I really appreciate you guys subscribing. And then you see, now the width, I already did it, and then scale Z, I'm scaling it in the Z axis, and then I would say GZ, move it down just to match it with the what do you call it, GZ, again slightly down. And then you see now, and then I'm gonna go to numpad 3. Now you can't see the picture now. Let me just rotate the picture, rotate the Z 90, enter. So now you see I rotated the picture so that we can scale this way. So from here to here, it's supposed to be only from here to here. So I would scale Y axis and I selected the wrong thing there. I'm not scaling the image, I'm scaling the box. So I'm gonna select the default blender box, scale Y, scale it a lot, something like so, and then Y, move it over to match the phone. So I would move it somewhere like here, and then scale Y again. I just want it to be the same width. So this is what I used to do, Y. And if you haven't done it, it's okay, but those of you, if you have done something like this when you were scale Y, when you were modeling, let me know in the comments down below. So you see now the height is still a little bit off, scale Z, because of I wasn't like too close, I wasn't too zoomed in. So you see now it's pretty much the right. So you see when you go to the front, it's the width. When you go to the control, to numpad 3, so let me just hide the reference image quickly and go to solid state. So you would see that this is the height of the phone. numpad 3, now you are on the side view, and then yeah, side view and height. So the height, it's still like 0.739 millimeter meters. So it's like 7,000 something, 700 and something millimeters, I think. Yeah. And then even here it's 1,000 something, 100 and something millimeters. And then even here it's 1,500 and something millimeters, if you take it into millimeters, because now it's in meters. So this is way too big compared to the dimensions that Huawei says their phone is. It's in millimeters. So what I want to show you is, I'm bringing back the image. Okay, I'm bringing back the, let me duplicate the cube, Shift D. I just want to show you something, GX, and then the second one is here. So I'm gonna say default, and then this is the default, and then this one is correct. I'm gonna say correct. We're talking measurements here. Default, the box when it's just thrown into the scene, you would create something this big, and then if it's this one, we're gonna modify it to the right side dimensions. So what we're gonna do is, you're gonna come over here, and then on metric, you must set your system to metrics, and then you go to meters. You see it says meters, so this is the reason for the M. So you change that to the millimeters, and then it changes. So now it's 739. You see it's way too big, 1.100 and something. Yes. So now what we're gonna do is, we're gonna change this into the correct one, and I just want you to see the dramatic change that's going to happen to this cube compared to the original one. So let's change this according to Huawei's dimensions. Huawei's dimensions means the same ones that I had on my reference image, which is this image here. It's exactly the same dimensions. You'll see when I open it. I don't know why it disappeared, but let's select on this side here, and let's just move it over here. So you see now, this is 158.2 millimeters. This is the height from here to there. So let's change the height. It's a z-axis. You see it says 1 point something. It's supposed to be 158.2. Enter. Look at that. Look at this, guys. Look at this. This is how high the phone should be compared to this, the height. It still doesn't make sense when you're looking at it like this because I haven't changed other sides. You'll see it's going to come to exactly what this shape, but much smaller. So let's talk about the width now. The width is supposed to be, it's supposed to be 72.6 millimeters. So the width is the x-axis. So 72.6 millimeters, right? So when I hit enter, look at that. Now this is the width of the phone. We have this size and then that size, and then we have this way, and then we have this way. So you see the difference. And then now let's go to the top view with numpad number 7. So now you're seeing this is it's similar to this because we did it roughly. So now I'm going to change that to the proper one, which is 9 millimeter, just 9 on the y-axis. Right over here, I'm going to say 9, enter. Look at this, guys. If you are on the top of the phone, that is done with the proper dimensions. On the default Blender scene, you would see this. And then when you go to the other one that you did, it's this. If you did it the way I used to do it. So front, this is the phone, and then this is the phone. Side, this is the phone, and that's the phone. So if I hit Z to go to wireframe, this is the phone and compared to that phone. So you see how big it is. This, if it affects how big your scene is, you might render and it might take a lot more time, I think, compared to if you were rendering it with the proper dimensions. I hope that is how it works. But yes, but even if that wouldn't be the case, it would still be a problem, guys, if you were to sell your model or to give your model to somebody who's going to use it for another project, because they have to rescale everything to fit the scene if they created things according to the scenes. Because I remember that there was this one tutorial by Enterprise where he was showing house scene, and then he says in order to match the dimensions to make the right height of the house in the door to measure, you have to have a human being, a human model that is properly scaled so that you can see if your house dimensions are too big or too small. So I remember the tutorial. I just can't remember what tutorial was that, but I think it's very important to remember, guys, that you have to keep the right dimensions. So this is how the size of the phone and compared to that. So we are not done yet, because of if you're going to model this, you would need to, well, for the most part, I think this is done. You just have to have an image this side that you will compare and just do the curves where there's a curve and do the what, because this is just for the reference image. You would change, I think you would change this image into a proper image that's going to show how the phone looks. But for me, I would say if you had to do it with the reference image like that and set it up properly again, but when the dimensions are done, I don't think you need that. But you might, because of sometimes you want even this camera part to be exactly the same, and even these buttons to be exactly the same on your model. So you still need the reference image. So let's set up the reference image immediately and see. Shift. Okay, I still have the empty, remember? So this is the empty. Now I'm going to make it visible. Let's see, from the front view you can't see it, but you can see it from the side. If I hit number 3, you see, because of I rotated it. So I'm going to shift D, rotated the z-axis minus 90 to return it to where it was. So it's rotated minus 90 degrees, so you can see this side. So this, I'm gonna name it front, guys. I'm just gonna name this empty front, and then I'm going to go to number 3. I'm gonna come to number 3 and then select the other empty, which is this one here, and name it side, and then come to the front again, come to the front from here and select front, of course, Shift D, and name it back. This is the back of the phone. You'll understand soon why I'm doing that. So now let's look at this. Now this is the back of the phone, this is the front of the phone, and this is the side of the phone. So you have to align those. So let's do that. We are on the, let's go to the front. Let's come to the front. Is the front, right? Front orthographic. You see front orthographic. So that is supposed to align to this. So we're going to quickly simply just hide the back, hide the side. Now we are left with the front only. So we're aligning this to the model. And where is the model? The correct is this one over here. So let's see. Let's see Z wireframe. Where's the model? I can't see the model. Oh, it's behind. It's behind. Let's go from the top view and see. Let's see this one. Let's take it to the G. Okay, let's see. Shift S, selection to cursor. So I'm bringing the phone right to the center. Perfect. So you see now it's seated on the proper space. So it's right in the middle. So I just have to move this around to make it match this. So this one, because this is the, actually is the wrong one. I was looking at the wrong one. So let's go to the top view again. I'm supposed to bring this one over here. Shift S, selection to cursor. So I brought the tiny little phone there. See, so I'm gonna match this to that. So I'm gonna scale it pretty much. Oh no, I'm scaling the wrong thing here. Let's select that, scale it very small, super small, and then zoom in, and GX, move it to the X-axis, something like that, and then GZ, move it to the Z-axis, something like that, and then GX, and scale again, scale it, oh, up, must scale it up, let's see, something like that, and then GZ. Now, you see now, we are trying to make our model to match GX. So when we match it, it has to match perfectly. You see? It's matching GZ. Let's move it up slightly because I want the lines to match. So I have to scale it slightly down. Scale down slightly. GZ. Let's go down and see. Scale again. Yeah, okay, it looks fine. GX, move it to the X-axis. So you see now, you're on the front, and your phone is aligned to the front of the phone, so that when you model this part, you won't struggle. So that's the reason you have to keep everything aligned. So let's say now we go to the number 3. Okay, now after setting it up, you have to make sure that you come over on this tab here, the object tab, and then you have to make sure that this image, this particular reference, it's only showing to the front. You see, only on the front. So when you go to any other side, it doesn't show. And let's go hit number 3. When you come to number 3, let's see, where's our object? Our object is right here. Let's bring him back. And then let's activate the side, this image here, the side. So now you see how big it is? Actually, to make it even easier, we can delete that because that one is already sized. We just have to move it around. Let's just select the front. The front is fine. Let's select this and delete it. Delete it. and select the back again and delete it again. Let me see. Come to here. Where is it? Is this one over here? X, delete. So I'm deleting that. So what I have to do is duplicate this one. Shift D, leave it there, and then let's see. Yeah, Shift D, Control Z, Control Z, Control Z, Control Z. Where is it? Okay, let me just delete it. Sorry guys. I'll select that and Shift D, it's duplicated, and then leave it over here. So instead of front, let me just rename it now. This one is gonna be back. There. Back. So now it's showing the front. So let's just check back for both. It's no longer showing. So let's go Control 1. You see, it's showing only on the back. So but now it's not aligned from the back. So we're gonna select it. GX, we move it to the side like so to align it to the back of the phone. So Z, wireframe, to make sure that it's aligned properly. We zoom in, GX, just move it to the left ever so slightly. I think it's perfect. So it's aligned at the back. So when you are in the front, so this one, Control 1, this one shows only on the front. It doesn't show anywhere else. And then when you go to the front, let's see, where's the front? The front is this one. Let's see if is it aligned. Okay, one of them shouldn't show. I think I'm seeing both here. So let's see. The front is showing. Where was the back? The back is showing. So okay, let's see. Number 1. This one is showing, and then only align axis, and then Control 1, the back is showing. So we're gonna go to the front and duplicate this one, the front, Shift D, and then let's name it side quickly. And here we're gonna, okay, let's rotate it on the Z axis 90 and enter. It's rotated. So when we come to the side, we see it, but it's not aligned. So let's see, how do we align it? Let's see, Z solid. Where is our from the top? Okay, you see now it's aligned, but it's here. That is why it's hiding the box. So I'm gonna, since it's selected, I'm gonna say Shift S, selection to cursor. I'm moving it there, and then when you are on number 3, I don't know why we can't see it. On number 3, and then I'm gonna show, let's say default. So let's see. Let me hide the front. Let me hide the front. Let me hide the back. And then let me just go to number 3. Now I'm seeing the side. Yeah, this is the side. So I just have to align it. I think I have to. The reason it's not aligned upward is because of I was supposed to just move it on the axis, but I just did it the wrong way. So GZ, I'm gonna move it up to match it with that. This Z axis, yes, and then GY. Then I'm gonna move it over like so to match this part. Let's Z wireframe so that we can see it properly, and GY a little bit, move it ever so slightly again this way. So you see it's matching all sides. It's matching all sides. Let me just bring it down a little. GZ. So you see now it's matching. So from the front, let's bring back everything, front and back. So when you are on the front, you should see only the front front. Let's select, let's say the side, you must not see it. Let's see. Actually, I'm trying to get one of these not to show. Okay, this one, number 3, is aligned. Control 1. The back is aligned, and then 1. The front should be aligned, but I tend to see, let's see. I think I'm seeing, let's see, only to the, no, back. I just don't want, let's see, when you're on number 3, I just want to see. So the side is fine. So this one is fine, the side, because we're on number 3. So control 1, the back is fine. Now we are dealing with number 1, which is the front. The front is fine. You see, this is where it is. The box is here, the cube. But I think I'm seeing something weird here, because let's make sure that the back is showing only the back. Select the back, and then it must show both only the back. Let's see. Okay, if I do this, because I'm trying not to have the back showing on both. I want it to show only on the back. So the back is showing on the back, and the front on the front. Okay, let me just double check something from the top view. I just want to see. Okay, the reason this is not showing is because it's right in the center. So let me see if, yeah, let me go to the number 1 and see if I can move this 7. Select the back, no, the front, and where's the front? Let's see, the front, and it's where? Is it right in the center? It looks like it's right in the center. Yeah, it's right in the center, and I can hardly see the actual model. Let me just see. Solid. I can hardly see the model, which is weird. On numpad 3, you can see the model. On control 1, you can see the model. But when it comes to the front, you don't see the model. So the model is probably behind this thing. So let me just select the front and go to the top view and GY and move it something like that, and see if I can see. Still don't see the model. I'm not quite sure what's the reason for that, but I know it's aligned, guys. It's aligned, but I just don't see. What's this? This is the back. Okay, let me say GY and see if it makes any difference. Let me just see. It does not. So this one should show only when aligned, and then on the back, and then all of them should show only when aligned. So let's just say the front only when aligned, and the side only when aligned. So here we're gonna say 1, the front. There is a cube here, but I don't know why I can't seem to see it. So if you guys know what I'm doing wrong, because I've selected the correct size thing, and I just don't understand why it's not visible. And you can model really when it's like this. Let me just see on the object. No, on there I've selected what? The cube. The cube doesn't show. On the object, on the image, you can actually just only see, you only see this, and then let's select that and reduce the opacity and see. Opacity. Still, even if I reduce the opacity, you hardly see the cube, but the cube is here. I can see the cube, and I just don't understand why am I not seeing it the way I'm seeing the rest of the stuff on the scene. But then again, let's say now number 3 aligned, control 1 aligned. It's just that now when you are on the front, which is weird, it's showing this image in pretty much like what you call, it's showing it like it's 100% opacity. You can't even see the lines. I don't understand the reason for that, but all right guys, for now let's say this is correctly set up, because it is. It's just that I don't understand why the image is not showing, why the actual what do you call it, the cube is not showing on the front, because this is too much. Unless maybe I have double this. Let me just hide it. It's not double. So number 3. So number 3 is here. Number 3 is fine. Number 1 is there. And control 1. Control 1. Oh, control 1. I hid the back. I didn't hide the back. Okay, front. Control 1. Oh yeah, there's it. Control 1 is showing the back. 1 is showing the front. And then let me just activate the front. So, okay guys, so this is the dimensions, and right now the cube would be selected. When I select the cube on the front, you just have to work with it. I don't know why it's not showing. So guys, the tutorial is done. So that's how you work with dimensions in Blender 3D. So our scene is pretty much set up. So the next thing that we have to do, guys, is to set up the reference. So in this tab you could do that. Let's move it down and let's create another window here at the top. So actually I'm just gonna go to the screenshot and see if I can change this, and I'm just showing you how to set up multiple window screens. Okay, let's see. I did what? I just changed this one to, oh, it's right under Windows. So I just have to remove that and open in pictures, screenshots, and select this one over here and open that. Now you're working with the references of the mobile phone itself. So this is how you would I would set up my workspace to see exactly the stuff that I'm doing right and that I'm doing wrong. So this is pretty much how you would view the phone. So say you're modeling this part, which is the camera part. This part here, you would know how to model it, because you can see that everything is there and it's showing how it is, and then you can just move around to the part that you're modeling or referencing. You see, you use that for the camera as well, so that you can see exactly how the phone looks and how curved the curves are and how smooth the curves are. So that's how you would set up. But here I will use a little bit much better pictures. This one I just screenshotted it from the Huawei website. But in the modeling phase, when you're doing this, unless you're going to use this as a texture, this would work a little bit okay. It will work just fine. But if you're using it as a texture, this would be a low resolution. It might give you some problems as you work, because these are low resolution images. You would have to get a higher resolution image so that you can texture the phone with. But now this, when it comes to modeling, it will show you exactly if you're doing the phone the right way or the wrong way, because the curves would be a little bit better on this one than if you're looking at this, because here you don't really understand what's going on. So guys, that is how you set up the reference images in Blender 3D. So on the next part, we will probably start modeling the phone. See you guys on the next one. Remember to subscribe, guys, if you have not yet subscribed. See you on the next one, guys. Cheers.